Reality.
UFOs.
Science.
Consciousness.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
That might not be a real thing. The podcast.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm the Candyman, coming at you live with the boys. I got a little story for everyone. I guess we'll announce it after the fact, but this show is officially brought to you by NRG Tree. Check them out at nrgtree.com. And just in case anyone wants to hear the test new jingle, it goes
NRG Tree.
And we'll see how that sounds on the other end.
Beautiful, I think.
Yeah.
I like
It's
that.
got a little like 50s barbershop quartet type thing going on, except there's only three of us.
I'm a barbershop quartet kind of guy.
Aficionado.
Yeah.
So here's the deal.
Aficionado.
All right. Before we get into any meat and potatoes, this is just the reality of what's going on behind the scenes, and I want to share it with the fans. And, first off, I want to thank the fans. This week's shout out is for the fans.
We do this for the fans.
Yeah.
Did it all for the nookie.
This shout out's for the fans of the show. Thanks for listening in. I hope we're entertaining everyone.
And I do know there are people listening, so it's good to know that.
It is
people
nice.
Reach out to me.
It is nice.
It is cool. I like that. Like I'm not just talking to dead air.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I've had tons of positive people said we helped them out or they make them laugh, whatever. And if you like our show, guys, spread it around, post it on some sort of thing where people will see that you like it, forward the link. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. What do people do?
Can I just add, if you are a social media college student looking for an internship,
we need advertising now.
We're hiring.
Right.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, listen, if we get it advertised on Facebook to like a certain age group, like 18 to 35 or 18 to 40 or something, like they might just click on and be like, "What is this?" Like
We
this weird podcast.
we don't discriminate on age because that's illegal, but we are looking
we
are looking for a skilled intern.
I'm saying they target like
in that type of field.
Yeah, if you're 15, come on in. We don't care as long as you know how to do it.
Even if you're older, we'll take you.
Yeah, if you're 75,
we can only pay in college credits and marijuana,
Viagra,
and a wee bit of Diet Pepsi. Yeah. Depending on your age, we might have some Viagra lying around.
That's for the old guys.
Well,
we can make it great.
I recommend it to the young kids too. Just try a little bit of it, not a lot, and you'd be amazed how long that thing will stay hard. Anyway, little behind the scenes. Thanks to the fans for listening to the show. We got the new NRG Tree jingle. Is it a jingle?
Jingle.
So last week, Danimal's not here. You don't know about this, but me and Macca, we go out there. We're smoking grass outside before we get on the air. All right, so we're high as balls. We come back in, and Macca announces, like, as a disclosure, that he's fucking wasted high.
Yeah.
And, he might not be on his fastball and
throwing knuckleballs.
I do the NRG Tree announcement that the show is brought to you by NRG Tree, blah, 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 blah. And Macca says on air that we're coming out with a new, better... We're gonna show them in a better light, and he made a little solar joke and everything, right?
Yeah.
And it caught me off guard at the time because I had no idea what he was talking about. And then this week, as I edited the podcast recording that we made, I listened to the show, in its entirety, and then one more time I listened to it once it hit the air, just for posterity. So it was a total of three pretty lengthy interactions with the situation, of the NRG Tree jingle. And all three times the whole week, I was like, man, Macca, I don't know if he was high as fuck or what. I don't know what the hell he's talking about with this new jingle. I'm like, we didn't talk. Wait, what the fuck's he talking about? I had no clue what he was talking about. And then only now, before we got on the air, did the memory jolt back into my brain that we had come up with the three.
You don't remember it
the
at
Do
all?
Re Mi trio barbershop quartet type. Yeah, I blacked it. Totally forgot it. Didn't register it, which is a rare thing for me because my memory's pretty fucking lockbox.
Yeah.
And dude, just totally forgot all about it until we mentioned it today. So turns out I'm the one that didn't know what was going on, even though I thought that you didn't know what was going on. And
That's
That would make that like the 378th time in our lives that's happened with things of varying significance and importance, right?
I think that's kind of the whole concept of the show is none of us really know.
That might not be a real thing. It really comes from that exact thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I think something's going on, and you're like, I don't know if that's
I don't know
what
if
it
that's
is.
what it
And
is.
I'm like, no, you don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, once the data, once the
Just
tail of the tape
analysis.
is settled, I'm the one who didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
378 out of 379 times. That's the that's the record. So, sweet ring, bro. The eyeball ring.
Oh yeah,
Caught me
my
off
sister got
guard.
it for me in Sweden.
Ooh,
Sveda.
it's very.
Swedish.
It's got a lot of things going on. It's like Greek-ish because we like our matis, right?
Yeah.
And then it's got like the claws around it, so it's very like, I don't know, Metroid type 80s.
It's not like
It's reminding me of like
it's
video
goth,
games.
but it's not, and it's got a cool eyeball in there and stuff. And
That is probably
Yeah,
one of my
so-
favorite.
watching you.
It's one of my favorite rings you've put on in a long time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
So Danny D's wearing Danny D looks like a rock star. We all agree on that. Yeah.
I have fangs in right now
Right.
too.
He's wearing fangs.
Take it, Dan. Flex your muscles.
Yeah.
Show the fangs. Macca, take a quick photo. We're gonna put it on the IG. Come on, you look great. Just do a quick.
Yeah.
Get the fangs out. Oh yeah, baby.
Oh yeah.
Kiss
That's-
it.
Wait.
Kiss the double.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a fucking.
That's
rock
going
star.
on the
I want to
IG.
see that.
You look like a guy. You look like a rock star that's on like their third album, and they just got rich, and you
They don't give
hired
a
a personal trainer.
They don't
happens.
give. They don't
Like-
give a fuck.
Dave Chappelle came back.
Yeah,
he's like
exactly,
jacked, like,
exactly.
yeah.
And they're
Danny
telling-
Elfman's jacked right now.
They're telling the whole world to eat a big bag of shit.
Yeah,
like
just
I'm.
fucking-
I won. I'm on top. You
This
guys
is
get
just
fucked.
the big-
It's funny we were talking about that earlier.
This is just the beginning.
Look at that shit.
Oh yeah,
You wait till you guys see this.
Oh, that's a good picture.
That is
That's a great
fucking
Post it on the
crazy.
IG.
put it on the internet
We-
for all the
yeah.
world to see
Put it on the internet.
in all its splendor.
Yeah.
Send it to the internet.
Send it to the internet. Did you see the new season of Karate Kid?
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai?
Yeah, of course I did.
You know, my papa was in the next Karate Kid.
Your grandparents, this was going to be a topic of discussion on the show at one point or another, but they were some interesting people.
Yeah.
Dan's papa and nana, that's what they call them, which, you know, when you're Greek, you call your grandparents yaya and papa.
They're my
so
Italian side.
I know.
Yeah.
But for us, we were like, your yaya and your papu? And you're like, no, my nana and my papa. And we questioned it forever, but you're allowed to call them whatever they want.
They're
your own
Italian.
grandpa.
You wouldn't
But
call
they
them
were-
Yaya and Papu.
I
Yeah.
hear you.
We
I
had
hear
a
you.
yaya and papu.
I know, but when you're Greek, it's a very heliocentric. No, it's like you think you're the center of the universe, and Alan Watts says that you are. But anyway, they were in a lot of. They did cameos and shit, but before CGI was a thing, you used to have extras on movies, and so they were somehow hooked in with somebody's that
Especially in Massachusetts.
they would do extras when they had an opportunity
Yeah.
in the movie.
So in True Lies, when Arnold says at the beginning, he goes, "Here's my invitation," and he blows up the building. They are walking by, and my grandmother's in her mink coat right as they're
All
walking by.
dressed
They said
fancy.
it was a live explosion, and they had to run right when he said that.
See, a lot of times when they're making movies, they don't have a budget to dress everyone there in like a
No,
really
right,
nice
she just brought her
mink
coat.
So they say, "Hey, casting call. We're looking for a bunch of extras. You got to dress to the nines." And you know,
they do that in
whatever.
a lot of movies. You'd think they'd costume up everybody, but not the extras. Extras are usually dressed how they're dressed.
Oh yeah, when they do like those Civil War movies before they had
Yeah.
CGI, they used to have to get
So
in touch with all the Civil War nerds that play dress up and do the reenactments, and they'd be
Yeah.
like, you guys get ready.
in Good Will Hunting,
We're gonna do this in a movie on camera, and you're gonna get to shoot your muskets and
Yeah.
run at each other. One lucky guy is gonna get a close up bayonet in another guy's stomach. Ah!
in Good Will Hunting, when he's sitting there explaining to her how his mind works, like how he play the piano, he can just play math.
Ricky Tikki
Yeah,
Tommy.
right
and
behind him,
Jimmy.
sitting there. Oh, sorry, sitting there is my nana, right at the.
Oh shit, she's in Good Will Hunting.
Right when he's saying that screen, she's sitting right behind him. You can see her.
Matt
and
Damon.
A bunch of our cars were in movies. The next Karate Kid, my grandfather's in the Zen bowling scene where they're bowling using Zen.
With Hilary Swank.
Hilary Swank, yeah, she's the last character that isn't in the.
Michael
isn't in the new
Ironside
show.
was the bad guy, and he was teaching like
I
these-
love Michael Ironside.
He was he's a cool like B minus
Perfect.
C plus actor.
Yeah, but he's a perfect bad guy.
He's
though.
done a lot of good voice acting, and like he was in like Heavy Metal 2000. And he done
Was
some,
he?
Yeah, he's done some good like
Yeah, he's a badass.
he's done some like voices
At
on
the end, Miyagi
animation.
fights me. He goes, "Now we fight." He goes, "Absolutely."
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, people shit in that movie, but I like it. Mr. Miyagi was great in it.
Mr. Miyagi's great in all
was
the movies.
1994.
I don't think there's one that he's bad in.
No, and I like the third movie too. People shit in the third movie. I think it's great with Mike Barnes. They brought him back.
His character was eh.
They didn't do it right. They could have brought him back as like a badass who like at least fought and didn't get knocked out at the end.
He fought fine, but the Hillary Swank Karate Kid, what sucked, the only thing that sucked to me about it was that this dude was training like 6 other dudes that were like, I think it was supposed to be like an ROTC type thing.
Yeah, they were like
So
security.
these are like college dudes who are
They were
going
high
to
school.
go into the military when they get out or whatever, and they're going to be officers. And he was like, yep, we're going to teach these 6 guys to beat the shit out of this chick. Because it's like, not only is it 6-on-1, but it's a girl too. So it was like,
It's really weird.
It was really a weird
There's some
plot.
good stuff in it though, the hawk and stuff, and like.
But it was like kind of the first time. I mean, I think they were trying to say like, hey, girls can do karate too. And, you know, they were trying to make a plot. I just don't understand why
they do that a lot now, and back then they didn't. So people were like, "What the fuck?"
all they had to
Girls
do
doing
was
karate.
all they had to do
Yeah.
was
Oh my God.
make the bad guy a chick, and it would have made a way better movie, right?
That would have been
Instead of, like,
smarter. Yeah,
these
instead of a bunch of guys
bullies
beating up
beating
on
the
a girl.
crap out of a chick under the
Yeah,
instructions
really
of a
weird.
under the instructions of a military fucking grooming guy. I mean, give me a fucking
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second movie I watched them recently, and the second movie was really good in Okinawa.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
Oh,
a great
so
movie.
good. And then Chosen comes back for the show, which is cool. I'm glad they didn't make him a villain because that wouldn't have made any sense. Like he would have wanted to restore his honor.
There's a lot of
years later.
Yeah.
Easter eggs in the show.
Lot Easter eggs.
Like-
Jessica Andrews is in it.
I know.
She's the girl
Teenage
from part
Witch
3.
and
yep,
part
Teenage
3.
Witch. Yeah, the one movie I thought of for her, Teenage Witch, and that.
And
That's
but
a good
that's
one.
that's a classic '80s movie.
Yes.
But the other Easter eggs, like when Chosen calls up the chick in the from Japan, and he leaves her a voicemail, and
Yes.
he's like, "I made one mistake. I should have brought you with me." Mr. Miyagi said that
Said that
to
to
Yuki
Yuki.
in Okinawa.
Yes,
so
he
it's
did in
like
part
a
2.
quick little Easter egg there.
Yeah, there's a lot of little Easter eggs.
It was really well directed.
But you know what, though? I watched the originals again, and they're very dramatic movies and very serious.
Do you watch
the
Cobra
shows?
Kai?
Yeah.
They could have made the show
I'm not
way more
caught up.
serious.
Yeah, they could
They
have.
made it a little goofy. The movies aren't goofy. They made it goofy. I don't like that. But
I love Stingray.
yeah, but that wouldn't have been in the original movies though. So they made it way too goofy. But I like it, but it's too goofy. They could have made it a super fucking serious.
Is there going to be a 6th
yes,
season?
and there's gonna be a movie.
Is it because it's making money? It's
Yeah.
popular.
Sony announced a movie.
That's too
too
bad because this season was kind of like this is a little much.
It's going.
I think they're gonna make
too
a
far.
young Miyagi show.
That would be
Miyagi
cool.
in World War II era.
The perfect ending for that show would have been that
Him and Sato, and like the whole thing that happens with him and Sato.
the perfect show that I bet they will. The perfect show, the perfect ending for Cobra Kai would have been at the end of season 4 when they had the karate tournament. Eagle Fang should have won Johnny's dojo. And that would have been like justice. So he and Danny would have been even. And then because Cobra Kai was the bad guys, Johnny could be like, okay, I give permission to Miyagi-Do to continue teaching. And then he would have been the good guy, ended on a high note, kiss it. Now we can make a couple movies.
I was watching
whatever.
the original, and Johnny, if you look at it from a certain point of view, Johnny is the good guy, and Daniel's the
yeah.
asshole came in and like impeded on his argument with his
They have all
girlfriend.
these YouTube-
Somebody came in and was like, "Hey man, stop arguing with her." I'd be like, "It's my wife. I'll fucking kick your ass right here on the beach."
They have these YouTube mashups where they film it in sequence to make him look like the bad guy. You should check it
Yeah.
out. But
He is the bad
Yes,
guy.
I've seen that. He is the bad guy.
spoiler alert. Do you care? No, you don't. How sweet is the end scene on season 5? And the last thing you see is just Kreese walking out.
That's how it's unrealistic.
I
but
don't
it's
want to
great,
say
though.
where he's walking out of it,
Yeah,
but
it's
he's
great.
just walking out.
I knew when they did
And they
that
got
thing
Frank
in
Sinatra
the
in
prison. I knew that wasn't real. I knew it was fucking set
well,
up.
you just gave away the thing I was trying to shield Sean from. But it's
First
okay.
First of all, if we don't know anything about Sean, we do know that he doesn't give a fuck. Right? Especially with pop culture.
All right.
Yeah.
Doesn't give a fuck.
Before we get into your topic of assisted suicide, which I thought was the name of a band.
I just wanted to mention it real quick because I think that's what I want to do someday.
Great. It's good to do that. But my song, it is. My song of the week is Push It to the Limit.
Push it to the limit.
From the Scarface soundtrack.
So good.
Sung by Giorgio Moroder did the music, and Brian Hacksaw Duggan did the vocals.
I'm gonna
probably his only song.
I'm gonna play that on the way to the gym tomorrow at 3:45 in the morning.
I made it song of the week in celebration of your new physique and that you've been pushing it to the limit and that's how you got to get to the next level. So
I'm gonna play it on repeat tomorrow.
Just letting you know
4
that
times.
And it's a great part in the movie.
It's fucking awesome, this show, and all like, get the guitar.
All the good stuff's happening.
Yeah, like well, his friend and his sister are looking at each other like, hey, we should get married. We should fuck.
Can I say something to our audience? Listen, if you're thinking about doing something with your life, I don't care what it is, you're thinking about doing something, the time is now. When are you going to do it? When you're in your deathbed getting assisted suicide? You're going to look back and be like,
exactly.
I could have done this. I probably should have when I was 40 or 35. I probably should have done this. I regret it. No, just do it.
I'm gonna have a regular suicide. I don't need the assistance, but
I'm probably not gonna do it.
There'll be zero regrets when I go. I'll be like, see you later, everybody.
No, I'm talking like if I survive and like end up getting like a bad cancer in my 70s or something, like and like literally like okay, you have probably 3 months. Once it starts getting unmanageable, I'm gonna take that exit.
Yeah, me too.
And it should be legal in Massachusetts. It was real close last time. You fucking sickos. Stop being stupid and just vote for that one.
One of the things...
Well, we're in the home of the Puritan religion.
They landed here.
That started
Plymouth
here.
Rock.
They landed.
Yeah. So, like, they think it's like, oh, no, like this death with dignity and suffering. There's no dignity in suffering, okay?
What happened?
You don't need to do it.
They got kicked out of Old England because their beliefs were not in
They
check.
were too hardcore.
They're too prude.
They were like, get out.
They were too hardcore.
You guys are just...
They didn't get kicked out. They left.
Oh, they were like this.
And then they
place is a cesspool.
Yeah.
We are leaving.
And yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen only on the boats. Let's go.
Right.
Gotcha. No, none of the riffraff, mate.
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, right.
They had lots of butt sex, so they didn't hurt their virginity.
Thing is, right? Do you think I'm pretty good with an accent, man?
Yeah, but I think that's Australian.
I switched it up a little
Good
bit.
day, mate.
The thing is, right? It's not easy getting all the British colony accents situated.
Well, the thing is with Britain is like there's so many accents. Like it's like anywhere else. It's like here.
Yeah, exactly.
And they can hear it, but we can't hear it. So I can hear like Cockney, and I can hear like a proper English accent. Like, cause like one's like mumble like some dude from like New York or from the South.
How do you decipher between Welsh and Scottish?
Yeah.
Aye.
What's it called? Brogue or something?
Yeah,
Brogue. I don't know. So was that it? You want unassisted suicide that you just want to say we should have it? It should be a legal thing.
It should be a legal thing, and I think everybody should support it. And like California has it, Oregon, Washington, and I think we should too. And I think it's like all you do is you drink a fucking shot of halcyon, like 60 pills or something, or 100 pills.
It's a slippery slope, right? Talking about.
Don't make it a slippery slope. Make it a law so that like you can't just do it unless you're terminally ill. Like that's all.
Can we make it like but I think by the time that we're ready for that, hopefully, that there'll be more research on psychedelics. Can we make that ride like a real funky ride?
Yeah,
they're doing
and they
that
can make
now.
it comfortable with morphine, but like some people just don't want to sit there and suffer on morphine and like lose your shit in your pants and stuff.
Most of the experimentation in the last I can't say most, but a lot of the experimentation on the MDMA and some of the other hallucinogens are done on hospice patients who are near death.
Yeah, they can have one last good ride.
Well, essentially, they come back from this trip that they go on,
and they're ready to die.
And they have no fear of death anymore, and they're ready to die.
Yeah.
There's something that happens in there where they feel that they're connected to, we're all the same shit. We're all the same stuff, right? We're particles of energy.
Right.
Right now.
Luminous beings are we.
Yeah, but right now, my particles are all stuck together, and they look like the Candyman, baby.
Hey, have you seen
yours look like Maca.
Have you seen the documentary How to Die in Oregon? That's where they talk about it. It's crazy.
What, assisted suicide?
Yeah, and so it's a really good documentary. And so like this one guy, his wife who tried to get it passed in Washington, he was like, "Please do this after I die," because he had a brain tumor where it was keeping his eyes open.
Oh, jeez.
It was terrible. And like he just sat there and suffered and like was like in the worst
pain. That's a form
pain.
of torture in Guantanamo Bay.
He said that he was coming out of his body and going back in, coming out, going back in, and he said
consciously he was just
he wanted to find a way to stay out,
detached, half in, half out.
I have a
It all started with Dr. Kevorkian.
Dr. Kevorkian,
in the 90s.
They They villainized
Oh,
him,
I
but
think
he was
he went
the
to
angel
jail,
of
right?
mercy.
He
Yeah,
went to jail, right?
Yeah, but he was an angel of mercy. Like he's like, I'm not gonna let these patients just sit there and suffer.
Right.
I'm gonna do something about it. I don't care. I took a Hippocratic oath. I'm not. Some doctors are like, oh, that's against the Hippocratic oath, but I don't think so.
Shout out to my homeboy Nanda. He had a suitcase when we were in high school that was chock full of party favors, mostly just booze, different types of booze, right? And the name of the suitcase was Dr. Kevorkian. Ironically, a few years later in college, he drank himself to death in my parents' house.
Did he have a near-death experience?
He was dead for 4 days. That's a day longer than Jesus of Nazareth, according to.
He was in a coma. He
was hooked up to life support.
I'm gonna tell my story one day.
But
I'm
he
not
was
gonna tell it
basically,
right now.
I've wanted him on the show forever to talk about his dying
Yeah,
experience.
let's do a
but,
near-death experience one because I have
like,
stories
it's
too.
such
I
such a good.
I carried him out of that party. None of his friends wanted to go with him.
It was you, Mully, his
blood-
wife, and
the blood
and
went like
T
this.
Minnie, right?
Yeah,
Oh my
the
The
god.
blood went like this, like you just spilled milk.
Yeah, we're like,
everywhere.
oh shit.
Wow, that was gonna be
lot
a
of blood.
fucking party and a half, too, dude. We had so many babes there that night. We had like a 6-to-1 girl to guy ratio, and nothing but 80s music.
The best parties.
I was dressed up like Bruce Springsteen from Dancing in
I
the
wish we could
Dark.
throw one more good
Oh,
one.
we're gonna throw a bunch. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, we
baby.
should.
Yeah, they're just gonna be in Thailand. So
We'll see. We'll see. I'm in a holding pattern for the next 3 years.
If I was if I didn't like have married and like have kids and stuff, like I'd be going to Thailand with you, no fucking question.
They legalized growing grass in Thailand, and they legalized it in Costa Rica, and I've got basically connections in both places. So I'm doing a trip to Thailand in February with my partner. And then next year, we're going to go to Costa Rica. And then on the third year, we're going to make a decision and move to one of the two places and get a license and grow pot and sell it to tourists.
Here we go. We can still do the podcast. We can have you on. Zoom.
Everybody else can fucking kiss it. All the naysayers can kiss it.
Kiss it.
who's the naysayers?
Who are these naysayers?
Who isn't?
I don't think
isn't?
there are many. They've all dropped off at this
Yeah,
point.
I think it's like one or two.
Who isn't?
Yeah.
There's so many.
Maybe there's 4 people that are.
Oh, still currently naysaying? me?
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, fuck it.
I hate when
all
people.
the originals.
You know, I
Share your
on my
last
list.
name.
I hate when people like shit on you, like behind your back or something. I just want to be like, he'd follow me into hell, all right, while you'd be standing there at the edge saying bye, okay?
Singing Highway to Hell.
Yeah. So like, go fuck off.
I'd be like, Dan, we're literally doing it. We're on a
Yeah.
way to hell. Yeah. Well, hey, man, that's what my energy is made out of. It's made out of nothing but pure mischief.
So
and
hey,
carnage.
Lord of the Rings show.
Ooh.
We got the answer pretty much on who that dude is.
It's Sauron? Or
It's Sauron, yeah.
I knew it.
It's not Gandalf. Gandalf isn't born yet, so it's
Well, we don't
Sauron.
definitively know, but they're
Meh.
making it look like it is.
He's already having like little dreams and shit. Like
They're
where
alluding-
he doesn't know who he is though, but he's gonna be evil.
How about that I called that and I've never read the books?
But he's good for. Is
I don't know
Saruman-
if that's in the books, but
But I called it on air.
yeah.
3 weeks ago, I said.
Wait, we think the big old dude is
Lord, the Dark Lord Sauron, forger of the One Ring
Dark
of
Lord
power.
of the Sith. Voldemort would have been a good Dark Lord of the Sith, I think.
Because the elf's been looking for him forever and she can't find him, right? So he went somewhere she couldn't.
There are
get to.
hints to it. That's why I'm like, no, that's not it.
You think they're fucking with you?
Yeah,
Maybe he's possessed by Sauron or something. Maybe he actually is a wizard.
You think it's so?
He has wizard
there-
powers.
it might
You
be
think only a simpleton would deduce it from those hints, and
Saruman.
that I'm an idiot?
Could be Sauron.
Could be Saruman.
Just like implanted the Sauron shit early.
It 100% could be Saruman. That's like
It's
just
definitely
as
not Gandalf.
You know who's a
Just
great
as
actor was
likely.
Christopher Lee. He was a fucking man.
Christopher Lee.
He played Dracula. He was a fucking Jedi.
Still
he was,
around.
He was a
he
Sith
died.
Lord. No, he died.
He died.
Wait, I
Yeah.
know what you're talking about. Yeah,
You're thinking about Ian McKellen.
Yeah,
Still
yeah,
around.
yeah.
Christopher Lee. I think he's a sir. I think they. Knighted,
yeah.
I think they knighted.
Oh,
him.
yeah.
He when he was young. Did a ton of like theater acting, but also
Yes.
like movies. But he did a lot of real sword fighting. He could fence in real life.
Yeah.
So when he did Star Wars,
Gentleman.
he was ready to fuck shit up with a sword. He was like, "Yeah, lightsaber.
I
let's
like
go."
when he says he doesn't just say your lightsabers. He says your swords, please.
The voice.
Like that's very classy.
his voice is
Yeah.
insane.
Swords, please.
Your swords, please.
Oh, his
we don't want to
voice
make a mess
is,
in front of the chancellor.
I was thinking Christopher Lloyd, by the way.
Oh, he's still alive.
He's still alive. He's still
Yeah.
Two different
He's the man.
guys.
Christopher Lloyd as a Sith Lord is kind of cool, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's plays a good bad guy. He was the bad guy in Roger Rabbit.
21 gigawatts.
He's the bad guy in Roger Rabbit. He's the bad guy in
Remember me?
Star
when
Trek.
I killed your brother?
Star Trek 3, The Wrath of Khan. He's the Klingon.
Yes, he is.
First appearance of that style Klingon in like real time outside the fantasy world history.
Because the original Klingons were like they didn't look like that. They looked like Italian dudes with weird mustaches.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Hey, I got a band of the week or song of the week, whatever.
Yeah, what is it?
I got two bands. One is a Japanese doom metal band that's real slow and fucking creepy. They're called Corrupted. They've been around since the 90s. And then I got another one called I Hate God, which is like a trash metal band. They're badass. They're kind of punk metal. They're badass. I Hate God. EYE though. I Hate God.
We will not let my mom listen to that.
Well, they don't. Okay, well, she's not gonna listen to this anyways.
That's the second time you've gone with a Japanese band.
All right, 3 days a week. 2 days a week I listen to podcasts. 3 days a week I listen to a different band every time. So like last week was like the new Ozzy album came out, and I listened to new Megadeth recently. I listen to I pick like a band I listen to them all day.
You love a regimented
band.
You love a regimented routine.
Yeah, I never used to, but now I'm like, all right. I wake up at 3:35 in the morning.
3:15.
I have my protein shake at 6. Yeah.
I have a bowel movement at 6:15.
Well, that's the one thing I can't get on point.
Oh man.
But if I could, I would.
Yeah.
But I like a routine though. I like.
We should. I'm not the boss, but I don't think it's fair to have double spit songs of the week, bands of the week. You're just gonna have to save number 2 for next week.
All right. You know,
it's a vote, Mac.
You know,
I'm in with that.
Like you talk about routines and stuff. Consistency is key in life. I think you can't get good at anything without consistency. You can't just fucking casually dip your dick into anything. Like
longevity breeds success.
That's it.
And activity.
That's it. You just keep doing something and doing it better than last time or harder than last time.
Eventually,
that's it.
You'll get some traction.
You'll get some traction. Yeah.
That's it. From now on, this show is voted with best 2 out of 3 counts, and anything can be vetoed down by
even jerking
else.
off. You get better. Like you suck at first.
You sure do. I
figure out
I
the
used
new
to get
moves.
soap in my pee hole and piss fire, and I thought it was the act of jerking off that caused it, not the soap. So I went on for like weeks doing that. Like instead of being like, wait a second, maybe the soap isn't good.
I think just about every man in the world's gotten soap up his pee hole, and let me tell you, it's the worst.
It's terrible.
It's the fucking
Like,
worst.
okay, am I gonna jerk off and pee fire, or am I gonna not? I'm like, it's kind of worth it.
What happens when you're a teen is that, like, eventually, especially if you have a lot of siblings, like, you end up going in the bathroom, pop pretty much the shower to rub one out, and it's only logical before you know it. So you're not shaving yet, really. Some of you are, so you don't have shaving cream lying around. And that's not a great idea either. Believe me, it's been
Never
tried.
used that one.
Been tried repeatedly by myself.
Never used that one.
Less of a sting, but still not that great.
Yeah.
Well, the shampoo is the logical thing you go for, and that's got a sting and a half once it hits your urethra.
Yes,
It's like,
yeah.
Little shampoo up the urethra.
Yeah.
Stinger.
You know, these are the things we should be learning in
Somebody I know said
K-12, you know?
Somebody I know said they just do it dry. I'm like, what are you, a fucking animal?
We're correcting that right now by putting it out there on the internet.
Right.
But kids, there's only one way to learn it. You got to try it. But
or fathers.
Shampoo up the urethra. Oof. They should put that on a warning label on shampoo.
Do not jerk off with this.
Don't get in the eyes. Also the urethra, because they always put the eyes. Like, don't get this in your eyes.
Yeah.
Don't swallow it.
I think the urethra
Nobody ever
more.
puts, hey, don't put this in your pee hole, and they should.
Yeah.
Because in real life, a lot of people are putting chemicals in and around their pee hole for lubrication purposes, and a lot of them sting.
Yeah.
Dan's got a big point. I'm just
There's
saying.
people who put stuff in their pee hole to fuck. They fuck,
Inside
they
the
do.
pee hole?
Yep.
Yep, it's called sounding.
What do you mean, like a glass rod to get erect, like scaffolding on the end?
Could be metal.
like an endoskeleton.
Let's see.
I was just thinking about something funny. I can't tell a story though.
All right, save it.
Yeah.
You're telling me.
Urethral sounding it's a medical term. Wait, let's look it up on Urban Dictionary.
Please do.
Sounding is the act of inserting a metal rod into your urethra. Sounding tubes are meant to be used medically, but some people figured out that they experience sexual pleasure from the act. The reason for this being that the sounding tube can reach very sensitive parts of your penis that, if stimulated, can create very intense orgies.
I'll take 3 of them. Order us a dozen.
And then what I like about Urban Dictionaries, they use it in a sentence. So I tried sounding for the first time, and it felt better than having sex for the first time.
Oh, that's not good.
Ew.
Nobody wants to know that.
That's dangerous. You can't undo what you can't. Like, once you know Pandora's out of the box, there's no putting it back in.
Right, you sticking fucking rods.
You know
in your
what?
dick?
Listen. There's some things that probably do feel good, and but I'm just not gonna do them. Like, I'm not gonna choke myself or something like that. Like, I'm just not gonna do it. I know, it might feel better. Maybe it does, but the risk is just too high. I'd just rather do it the traditional way. You know?
All right.
Like,
no metal rods for Dan.
No metal rods.
Order
no
us a
head in
half
the
dozen.
closet.
I'll take. Well, you know what?
What
Order
if you're
us
in
a
a
dozen? I'll take his half. I'll
We
take
had a
his
kid,
portion.
We had a kid in high school that hung himself in the closet and filmed it, and his parents found him dead.
We
Gee.
did.
He wrestled with me.
That's fucked
Yeah,
up.
he was a freshman when I was a senior, and Coach Phillips
He
called me
filmed
about
it.
it.
He filmed it.
He filmed himself doing it. Like, was he gonna watch it later? You
No,
sick
that's a fuck you to everybody that gets it.
Was he?
No, but I don't think he was trying to kill himself. I think he had a hook. He had like a thing that he pulled at the last minute, and it didn't pull, and he just choked himself
You
up.
saying he was trying to do like a prank and he actually
No, he was trying to do asphyxiation masturbation.
Oh.
Yeah, autoerotica asphyxiation, whatever it's
People
called.
say that that's how David Carradine died.
That-
Yes,
this,
they do.
they found him fucking hanging.
And I
Another guy.
believe Anthony Bourdain had a major problem with depression, but I think he was into that same shit.
He had a big problem with depression. He killed himself.
Yeah, but I think he did it jerking off with a
Imagine that guy. He was obsessive too. He got into like
David
jujitsu.
Carradine literally was like everyone in the world now knows like, yeah, this guy
They
fucking
found him hanging.
he fucking died
Wonder what his
jerking
brother
off.
said. His brother's Keith Carradine. He was in Dexter and stuff. Good guy.
Another guy died from that too. Another musician, I think.
Well, you can check me on this, but Olivia Newton-John died, right?
Yes. You know what's funny is I was singing her songs up in Maine that same night we found out after.
Your favorite
You better
is
shape up.
Tell Me About It.
Oh,
Steph.
she's
Yeah.
the grease.
I got chills. Multiplying.
That's sad, but
Here's a really fun fact. I've never seen Grease, and I
What?
and I
What?
never will, and I hate it.
what?
So, fuck you guys.
No. What?
Never seen it.
I think you're a NPC, non-player character. He's just here. He just goes through these motions. He's like set to like hip hop, and then like the rest of it though they just missed. So like he's like, I haven't seen Grease. I've seen Grease maybe a million times. How do you miss it?
Yeah,
God.
I've seen it and turned.
It's like first boner first boner I really remember getting like a real boner as a kid
Yeah.
was watching Kaneki and Rizzo.
I was gonna say
fuck in
I
the
knew
car.
you liked Rizzo.
And I always liked Rizzo. And that's the day I knew when I was like 5, but like by the time I was like 10 watching Grease, I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
A hickey
I don't know
from
what's
Kaneki's like a
I'm not-
Hallmark card.
It is. I'm not really sure what's going on in the back of the car, but they're making all these noises and my dick's hard as a rock and I like what I'm seeing.
And then he breaks and the condom breaks. He goes, I got it in the 7th grade. He's just a regular dude.
that dude died too. That
Yeah, he
poor
died.
bastard.
He was into drugs.
Yeah, he was on Babylon 5. Do you know
Was
that?
he really?
Yeah, he played he played like the chief of security on the station for like
Was
3
he like
seasons.
disabled yet?
It was Kaneki from Grease, but he was old and he was wearing a security uniform and he was the fucking security guy on Babylon 5. It was fucking nuts.
I wonder. He used to like talk like. I mean, John Travolta got huge and then he didn't. But
I mean, you could say about all of them, right?
yeah, Olivia Newton-John had a good career.
Not like John Travolta.
No, of course not. Not everybody can have a career like that. The Scientologist, fuck.
I can't believe you just fucking blew my mind. You've never seen
Christ.
Grease?
Never seen it.
Were you too,
That's like saying I never had pizza.
were you
Never
too
eat
busy
pizza.
like trying to pretend to watch sports when you were a kid or something? Trying to fit in with the
don't know.
guys, like,
No.
oh, let's watch football. Fuck those Grease stuff.
I think Grease just never came on in my house. I don't even know if my mom liked it.
She has.
Wow.
I think they were like so anti-Grease, and
They were like,
they were like
not Sean.
not allowed. And
Go grease line in your burning.
I know.
quarter mile.
I
they're
know.
like, oh, that's Greek.
Keep
I'm not
talking,
letting my
keep
children watch a movie about Greeks.
Yeah. Well,
It's not Greeks.
I know, but you know,
she's always
Wow.
had a thing out for
She doesn't like Greeks.
not my mom, my dad's side.
They don't
grew
like
up,
Greeks?
They grew up in the acre.
See, in Lowell,
I didn't know there was a thing of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my papa would tell me about it from.
There's like Greek discrimination.
No.
No.
In let's say the 1920s to the maybe even before that, like let's just say 1900s.
Yeah.
Yes.
To
Early.
like till World War II.
Yeah.
The
early
40 years.
aughts. Yeah.
There were all these immigrants coming into the country for all sorts of stuff. Now, depending on how early you get here, you're an immigrant or you're not, right? So like when the Irish showed up, they shit all over them, but eventually there were so many of them because they just kept fucking and not using. They weren't Catholic.
They were
Or they're Irish Catholic. Their children began to outnumber the other people, and then the Irish started to have a very powerful presence here in the United States.
We took over the police,
So
the fire department, and the church.
Politics, everything. The Irish were all over everything. So what happened was, I'll just go fuck myself, but the Greeks and the Irish lived together.
In the neighborhood.
They were fucking splitting the acre up. We'll just wait till he's done peeing. He gives notes.
Well, I think we should just listen to that too.
The pee.
Let it happen.
His little dinky. You don't want me to cut this. You want this to be on air.
I want this to be on there.
All right. It's real.
Just a live pee.
What I was saying was, man.
Did you guys hear that?
What I was saying.
Pee-pee.
What I was saying was that, like in that part of history in the 1900s,
Yeah.
when the Greeks got here to Lowell, there was like a section of Lowell that had a lot of Greeks and a section of Lowell that had a lot of Irish, and it was like essentially they were like fighting, and I think the Irish might have shit a little bit on them because they were like the new greasy Greek immigrants,
And they got shit on.
and
They showed up.
Well,
they just didn't realize we were the descendants of Spartans, and that nobody shits on us.
Yeah, how can you shit on Greeks?
Now we run it.
That is true to an extent, but here's what happens in this one neighborhood in the city,
Known as the Acre.
The new immigrants moved there 1st, so the Irish were there, and then the Greeks came and they went into that neighborhood, and the Irish were like, "Who the fuck are you?" They weren't Irish at that point; they were American.
Yeah.
And then the Irish left.
I'm sure some of them had accents.
And then the French Canadians came in. So the French Canadians and Greeks were coming together. The Greeks also.
In the 1980s.
And then what? They move out to Belvedere eventually, and then like somebody else comes in.
Yeah.
In the 1970s, the Puerto Ricans started to show up. In the 1980s, the Cambodians escaped the Khmer Rouge, and they showed up. They were probably shit on for a solid 20 years, but now around here, they run shit. They're on city council. They're on this,
Mayor.
they're on that. Yeah, just keep having kids and live in a place. Eventually, you take it over.
Yeah, and I think, exactly. It's just a natural way of hate. You hate the people that are coming and taking your job and all that shit. It's all
People
bullshit.
are still so racist. Like the idea of like a Cambodian mayor to people,
So the Irish,
it's like crazy to them. Like but everybody else was fine, but all of a sudden it's like, whoa, wait. No, they've been here for a while.
Right.
the Irish and the Chinese had some serious fucking throwdowns throughout history for labor competition. 'Cause,
Right.
like the Irish had been here and worked their balls off on the railroads and all that stuff. And by the time like basically post transcontinental railroad, like they were settling down in cities, right? And so like San Francisco was a big one, and like then there was a big Chinese immigration that was going on. Started with the railroads and just kept going. But the
Right.
Chinese were also starting to get established places, and these Chinese guys were showing up, and they were taking way less wages than the Irish guys. And then at the same time, everything was expensive, so these guys were like, "Dude, I can't compete. I have to hire the lower guy." And they hadn't regulated any of this shit yet. It was all just like they didn't have like a union, a workers' party, nothing. It was just rich guys running shit, other people showing up, working themselves to death.
It was the second phase.
But yeah, it's
of
competition.
slavery.
It's competition for resources.
Yeah.
It was like a slavery, but we pay you a little bit.
Yeah. Right.
But we make you think you're free.
fuck.
This is phase 5 of that we're in right now. We're all still slaves, but it's to our houses and our schools and our fucking college loans and
I was gonna say like sometimes
cars.
boomers will shit all over our generation, like, or like they'll get the generations wrong. They'll be like those college age fucking what are we called millennials? Like they're not millennials. We're millennials. But anyways, they'll shit on us and be like, they're lazy, blah blah blah. It's like you guys didn't have $700,000 houses to buy. Like back then, you guys got houses for a fucking song. Like it's a totally different world now. Like, and the chips are stacked against us way more than they were for you.
I told you we're in the 5th stage of slavery, where they really trick you into thinking that you're that you're here and you can do anything you want.
And like, there's employers like complaining,
but you gotta pay all these bills if you want to do it.
I belong to a subreddit called anti-work, and it's just like people shitting on like the system now, like employers like putting up signs or posting saying I can't get a good employee to come and interview, or they just walk out. It's like, yeah, well, maybe you shouldn't offer $13 an hour and say you're looking for somebody with 10 years experience and a master's degree. Like, sorry, like it's your own fucking fault if you can't keep employees in the place.
You're saying,
if your restaurant
it's askew, it doesn't add up. It's unbalanced.
It's not my fucking responsibility to work at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, you got to reset.
You go fucking do it, asshole. Like, I saw a politician, an old dude, say like, "There's nobody working at Chick-fil-A." Everybody was like, "How about you go work there? You fucking pasty, bloated, depraved piece of shit."
You've put your time in the fried chicken industry. So.
I put my time in fried chicken.
So have I.
Yeah.
So have
We've
you.
made plenty of roasted chicken.
All 3 of us have put our time in the fried chicken industry, and we're just doing other stuff now.
I'd like to make some good fried chicken soon.
Time for the younger kids to take over and start dropping 16 pieces of jokes. You know,
white people up here don't make enough fried chicken at home, like fried bone chicken. Like, it doesn't happen enough. Like, I want to do that and bring it to parties. I think people would like it.
You have a camera. Really good. You have a camera in white people's houses, coast to coast. And
I got them on lockdown. I know that
this area of the country, we just
we're lacking. I don't see it at fucking potlucks. Do you?
I think you're right.
I don't see it at potlucks. People get Popeyes and stuff, and it's not even that much trouble. Like, for some reason, they don't do it.
Popeyes is fucking delicious.
Popeyes is awesome. They get that sweet heat sauce. Woo!
Fried food's fucking delicious.
Oh, it's so good.
Why can't they make it good for you? Why can't I eat a dozen donuts and just get jacked?
It's just problem is that the oil.
Bullshit.
The chicken and breading isn't so bad. It's the oil adds so many calories, and the breading, it's just like, it's not that good for you. That's all. Not to mention clogs your arteries.
One time when I was working at the restaurant with your brother, this was kind of a weird stage at a restaurant that we all worked at, and it was with Candyman's brother, and there's this really fat dude that was working there, and he's made himself this satay.
I can't even imagine what's about to come out of your mouth.
This satay, and this is an Easter egg for your brother if he listens.
Oh, he'll love it. No, he does.
So this dude's making this pasta dish that's famous in our parts, and it literally has 3,000 calories and
2,000 fat calories.
That's so many calories.
About 300 maybe tops protein, maybe 100 vegetables, and a good 500-600 processed carbs pasta. So you're talking 2,600 calories of unhealthy.
People eat like that,
but delicious.
Yeah, delicious.
So Dan's entire caloric intake for the day, all in one fattening, delicious meal.
Right. So this dude,
it's what's referred to in this neck of the woods as shit your pants good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So this dude is
wicked good.
Is pouring it from the pan onto his plate, and he goes, I usually eat just fruits and vegetables. That's all he had. Or fruits and salads, and then
sure you do, buddy.
Yeah, and we were just like, huh. And to this day, your brother texts me that.
He'll say, "Hey, you should just eat fruits and salad."
Did he shit all over him?
Oh, we were just quiet. We just were like, huh, yeah.
Probably might have been.
You're 300 pounds.
Might have been like a new guy.
You didn't get there by eating fruits and salads. There's no fucking way.
Yeah. Well, genetics is a major factor.
It is a major factor, but you still, genetics bad. You still, if you eat like decent food, you're not going to get there like that fat.
Not an excuse.
Like he's sitting there making a 3,000 calorie plate saying he eats fruits and vegetables. I just would take a guess that he doesn't actually eat those. Or he does, but it's on top of everything else he shovels in.
He does like fruits and vegetables. He just covers them in lard while he eats them because it helps him digest it. I don't know what to tell you. Listen, man, leave him alone. Everyone has their own crosses to carry.
When you guys were talking about fried food, I was going to say that. I just usually eat salads and fruit.
I
wouldn't have gotten that, but now I will.
I get as you know, I get the munchies real bad when I've had an edible and it's nighttime and I'm playing video games or whatever. And a lot of my buddies I'm playing with, especially one in particular, Chills McGills, you son of a bitch. These guys will be snacking on Doritos and eating candy and eating all this stuff, and they're like, oh my god, they're baked too, like, oh my god, it's so good, and I'm like, fuck you guys, I want some caramel now, but I can't have any because I'll immediately not, I can't do it. I get
My bus driver made homemade caramel that was so fucking good. Alexis got some. My sister recently. I want to learn to make it like homemade caramel. It's fucking good.
homemade caramel.
Little squares, like really good. Buttery.
Caramel is essentially made from sugar.
It's like burnt, right?
No, it's the sugar caramelizes from the heat.
Yeah.
But what happens is there are fats and proteins in butter, which are essentially basically also in milk.
Yeah.
When you mix those fats and proteins with the sugar, the result is caramel.
Really?
Depending on how high or low you heat it, depends on how hard or soft it'll come out. So you go low heat, you get like
soft
you get a
caramel.
caramel soft because it's got a shit ton of water in it. Sauce. It's got more water content. You heat it up hotter and hotter, and you get hard caramel candies. You throw some weed in there in the butter, and then you make caramel with it.
Yeah, caramel
You got
weed.
caramel weed, baby.
I'm gonna make caramel now. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm just telling you.
That's it.
I'm gonna make some. I'm gonna stick it in my pee-pee hole.
Wait, I got an artist spotlight.
I'm dying to hear it.
So, when you hear artist spotlight, you may be like, yo, this guy's going to drop some new artists on us, right? But I'm going to shout out an old artist.
Is it Andre 3000?
It is not. It is.
Who is it?
It is a super group from the late 90s.
Is it
early.
Gangsta Lean?
It is not Gangsta
Oh,
Lean.
he's been on an 80s, 90s hip hop kick
have
lately.
been.
That's what's going on here.
Onyx.
It is West Side Connection. Have you guys heard
Vaguely,
of
what's
Connection?
what's their big hit?
Maybe you've heard of Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Well,
he in that
this
group?
is a super group.
This is post NWA. Is that what they were?
Way post NWA. This is coming off the heat of the East Coast,
Cali,
West Coast,
Cali,
East Coast.
New York.
Yeah, beef.
Rap feud, hip hop feud.
Came in maybe a little late, but they wrote
Took
it
the
out.
lives of Biggie Smalls and Tupac Shakur.
Yep. And it was Ice Cube,
Nobody
Mac
wins.
10, and Dub C,
Mac 10's and Uzi, just so you know.
a.k.a. the gangster, the killer, and the dope dealer.
Jesus.
Very amazing group. They
Time out.
did not last long.
Where does
Made
Ice
2
Cube?
albums.
Where does Ice Cube fall in the pecking
Gangster?
order? Is he the gangster, the killer,
Ice Cube
or the?
is the gangster. Dub C is the killer. Mac 10 is the dope dealer.
The dope dealer. Interesting.
2 albums, real quick, got together, had a blast.
That's a lot of albums though for.
Broke up. Probably, I think Mac 10 and Ice Cube don't get along anymore. But Ice Cube basically used this group to start like 10 beefs.
Ice
He came out
Which is good for your
swinging
career.
Cypress Hill, Common, and he actually got worked. But
Oh,
check
really?
it out if you don't know. If you love Ice Cube, check out.
I love that song. Today was a good day by Ice Cube. I listen to that at the gym all the time.
Today was
great
a
song.
good day is probably one of the greatest hip hop songs ever written.
Today I
Maybe
didn't
one of
even
the
have to
greatest
use my
songs.
AK.
He got a beat from Kim.
Okay,
She
I
could
want to know
fuck
how many
all
times he
night.
was using his AK though. Like really?
Probably not.
Probably never.
Anytime he asked to use it, it's not a good thing. So he's like,
No.
I didn't have to use it today. It was a good day.
He's
That's
telling
what
the
I'm saying.
story from the eyes of a young black person
Urban black dude
in Los
growing
Angeles.
up in Los
Well, I
Angeles.
thought it was
and
always him.
during
Yeah.
the peak of the Krips and the Bloods violence.
He was involved in that, but I just don't think he was the gangster that he likes
No.
to portray. It's a story.
He's telling the story of people he grew up with, and
There's a famous
character. He's an actor.
There's a famous shooting that happened. I'll have to look it up and for a fact check, but it really doesn't matter. But there's this like Army Ranger guy that had a house in like I want to say it was like somewhere out in that neck of the woods, like Long Beach, Compton, something like that. It was totally overrun by like the Hilltop gangs, what they were called, I want to say.
yeah,
And the police in the town basically were like shitting their pants because there were more gang members with guns on the street than there were cops, and there were all these other fucking guys, right? So this Army Ranger is like active Army Ranger. He's like deployed, but he comes home for like 3 months. He keeps seeing every time he comes home, he's like purchased this house and he's like got his property clean as a whistle. And like every time he comes home, it's like all gone to shit, and the neighborhood's shittier and shittier. And so this is like one of the first dudes in the, I think it was like 80s, 90s. He late 80s, early 90s. He starts the neighborhood watch. So now all the gangsters, and he's calling the cops all the time on these, I think they were Krips, but it really doesn't matter. They're gang members, right? So like they're getting all pissed off. this guy's making too much trouble. So they start like slow rolling his house, and like I think they shot it up with BBs or some crap like that. And they basically like do the slow roll by his house. They see him. They put a hand out the window, make it look like the gun signal, and just make like a shot at him, like they're gonna shoot him. Basically saying they're gonna kill him. So this guy, it's a Sunday. This happened on like a Saturday or something. He calls all his Army Ranger buddies up, and he's like, "Yo, I'm having a barbecue tomorrow, BYOB," which to like regular people, that's bring your own beer, but to Army Rangers, it means bring your own bullets. So these motherfuckers show up with like shotguns, M16s, whatever. They take up defensive positions all around the house. The gang shows up. I'm gonna get a YouTube link for it I'm gonna get the YouTube link for it and put it on our description for the episode. But the Rangers the Rangers are already there, dug in, defensive positions, ready. These other dudes show up. The Rangers shut all the lights in the house, and all the street lights around are outside, and all you can see is just gang members rushing at the house and just being repeatedly repelled by like precise gunfire.
Really?
And and they ended up like no one got killed, but it was like the cops were on they were calling it like they were saying there was shots, like 50, 60 different guns going off. It sounded like a war zone. They wouldn't go near it. So it just went on forever. And then at the end of it all, they ran the dudes off. And
how did nobody get killed?
No one was killed because the gangsters weren't skilled in the use of firearms. They were just like shooting their gats sideways and just thinking they were tough.
I hate that.
And the Rangers were sitting there fucking ripping rounds in the face of they were like, these guys can't shoot for shit. Let's put them out. And they weren't killing them, but they were wounding them. Arm shots, leg shots, whatever. So that brings me to my next point. We talk about a lot of shit on this show. I have now started posting cool links in the description for the episodes.
Whoa.
So as an example, 2 episodes ago, I had the inspirational quote that I wake up with, which is, "This far, no further. The line must be drawn here," by Jean-Luc Picard and by Quark on Star Trek. Yeah. I put the links for both of those in our episode. So if you guys listen to the show, for the fans, check the description of the episode, because now you have links. And
check it out.
Obviously,
what's the name of this episode?
This episode that we're doing right now?
I think it should be called...
It's called Urethra Beads.
Yeah, or I think it should be called Pee Break.
Pee Break. The Pee Break. Yeah. I mean, it's up to 2 out of 3. It's a 2 out of 3
Joe
vote.
Rogan does it, all right.
Do you vote for it?
I mean,
it's your idea. I'll count that as a vote. Dan, do you sign off on the Pee Break?
I'll sign off on Pee Break.
All right, there you go. You already got it.
That means we're keeping the Pee Break.
You gotta post that picture. That's a great picture. Like
Season 2, episode 20, the Pee Break.
Are you on there?
On what?
The IG?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay.
So, sorry for everyone who died this week that was famous, and people who are not famous at all. If you're listening to the show and you know about Buddhism, you'll know that none really matter at all in the grand scheme of things in a long enough time.
Did we do the Queen thing?
The Queen of England?
Gonna miss that sweet, sweet pussy.
Oh, God.
I did not. That's not my quote. That was somebody, a comedian posted that. It's pretty funny.
The Queen of England was old since I was born.
Right. Bro. Me too. Yeah. So she's always been old.
And I get when you're like 5, like a 20-year-old looks like a man.
No, she was an old gray lady when we were little kids. Like,
she's 96.
Maybe not gray, but she was old.
How are the Patriots doing this season, Sean?
They had a game today.
I don't want to get sports talk on here.
I'm going to a Patriots game in Vegas, actually.
Last night I was...
Cool.
Last night I was
December 22nd or something like that.
Last night the serenity of my gaming was disturbed when my squad members started talking about the big football game that was on tomorrow. Tom Brady was playing, and he plays for somebody else now.
He plays for someone else. Yeah.
I don't know. They're saying bad things about Tom Brady. I was like, you guys shut up about Tom Brady. That man is a fucking awesome.
I hate when losers try to take down somebody that's like way above them.
Dude, I don't
like way above them.
I think it's fucking crystal clear at this point that I give a fuck about like regular traditional sports in this country.
but it's still shit on a dude that's like the greatest.
If you put a gun to my head right now and you were like, you got to name 3 names. I mean, shit, 2, maybe even 1.
Right.
If you put a gun to my head right now and you're like, name any player on the Boston Celtics, the Boston Bruins, the New England Patriots. Did I already say the Red Sox?
I couldn't do it right now.
Didn't say the Red Sox.
I couldn't give you one single name.
I couldn't do one name
athlete,
any of the teams.
Any of our teams.
You couldn't name one player
on
the Patriots.
Nothing.
No.
I don't know
one on the Celtics.
Nobody. I know Rajon Rondo played a bunch of times years ago.
What about the coach?
Nothing.
I don't know.
Chris Ford.
He just got
Did he
suspended
get
for the
suspended?
year.
I knew that, but I don't know his name.
It's the biggest sports story.
I'm sorry, we don't know what's going on.
I don't know
out there.
what's going on. I don't know his name.
What do you want to say? What do you want to tell you?
Here's what I'll say about him. His name's Ime Udoka. He was engaged to Nia Long.
Yeah, and he's banging two of the ladies in the
And if you know Nia Long, he should have been fired just for cheating on her.
Because she's hot.
Oh,
Is she awesome too?
I know a Celtics player, D. Brown.
That guy hasn't played for the Celtics in 20 plus years, maybe 30 plus years.
Yeah, okay.
Robert Parrish.
All right, Robert Parrish.
So
yeah,
Ime Udoka got suspended for the year.
That
He's
was the
likely
coach's
going to be fired. They suspended him probably for some sort of contractual reason.
Wait a minute.
He got suspended because he had an affair with someone that works for the Celtics.
Where the hell got him?
Remember the Seinfeld episode when George bangs the cleaning lady and he gets fired and he says to his boss, he's like, "Was that wrong?
Was that wrong?
Was that wrong?
Yeah.
Was I out of line there?"
Now, obviously, you like that's a story you hear.
I didn't hear anything about it.
Well, I know
what the hell
you
you're
guys
talking
didn't
about.
hear
I heard
about
something
it.
about it, but I didn't know his name.
So, like that's the thing. A lot of the first reactions was, "How are you going to suspend a guy for a year for just having an affair with someone in the office?" But like, obviously, that's not the whole fucking story. And they're never going to release it because it's like confidential shit and lawsuit shit.
Well, timeout. I don't know his name.
Ime Udoka.
So I definitely will get shot in the head if you put a gun to my head and make me say a name. I'm already dead.
I don't even know his name. I already got it.
There's a Greek guy that plays on the Celtics, I think. Maybe the last couple of years it was a Greek guy.
Nope.
I'm telling
His
you.
name's Yorgo.
I'm telling you.
What would his name be?
Yorgiki.
It's got to be some. It's something Greek, bro. It's like Snuffleupagus.
No,
something.
definitely not.
I'm telling you.
Oh, can I say one thing, guys? There's a new movie. Okay, Winnie the Pooh just came up for public domain, okay? Meaning anybody can make it. There's a new movie coming out.
Meaning nobody owns the rights.
Right, nobody owns the rights, what the people do. So there's a new movie coming out this year called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
Christopher Robin goes back to find his friends from his childhood, and he's like, what happened here? And they
That's
come back and kill
fucked up.
people. That is fucked up, and it's like the greatest thing ever. I'm so excited about it.
You want to talk
Oh,
about?
Pooper. He's like, I'm sick.
You want to talk about? You want to talk about that might not be a real thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the public domain was until Dan told me about it.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
like,
no, like-
oh, it's in the public domain.
like,
I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Star Wars will be public domain in 2070. Mickey Mouse in a couple years, so they'll be able to make a Mickey Mouse slasher movie.
So
But it doesn't-
essentially, it's something that right now somebody owns as intellectual property. Let's say like the rights to the Beatles music.
yeah, it doesn't mean that they could. Doesn't mean that they could sell. Okay, it doesn't mean that you could like if Star Wars comes up. It doesn't mean that you can sell your own version of Star Wars. But you could make a new one if you wanted to, using the likenesses and characters. Like that's why Winnie the Pooh. The owners of Winnie the Pooh are probably like, "What the fuck?" I think it's Disney. They're probably like, "Oh, that's great, a horror movie." With
So you couldn't make like, all right. So just to put this in Star Wars context, right? Let's just keep it to the original 3 movies, okay?
You couldn't profit on Empire Strikes Back.
So let's say you couldn't make a 4th movie and say it's an add-on to the original 3.
You can
But
kind of
you
do whatever
could
you want.
remake Star Wars from scratch.
I don't know. I think you can kind of do whatever you want, but like
I can't
so,
even
like,
believe it's a thing. I didn't
by
know. I can't
2070,
believe there's a rule.
yeah, it's after 100 years. So anything after 100 years starts public domain.
So families can't like,
Or maybe
own
it's like
the property,
75 years
right?
sometimes. It depends on the trademark, but
So like Alec Guinness,
Yeah.
aka Obi-Wan Kenobi,
yeah.
when he took the original contract for Star Wars, they were like,
1976 or 75.
they were like, Mr. Guinness, blah blah blah. These are the options. We can do this, 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 or this. And his option that he chose was to own one. They thought it was 2.5%, but it's 1.25%. He owns 1.25% of all proceeds from all showings of all Star
smart.
Wars forever. And so when he died, that shit goes to his kids.
Once it's in public domain, it's over.
So that's a law that like after 100 years, intellectual property is no longer
I don't know
intellectual
if like
property.
Elvis is public domain. I don't know how that works.
We're gonna have to
it's
look
really
this
a weird
stuff
thing.
up and get
If
back to
you-
you
Well,
on it.
Let me just
Night of the
say,
Living Dead is public domain, so we could make a Night of the Living Dead movie if we wanted to.
In most countries, the terms of protection of copyright expires on the first day of January, 70 years after the death of the latest living author.
Yeah.
but it's different per domain as well.
It is. Hemingway book is coming up soon, Old Man in the Sea. And like when Star Wars comes up, you could remake Star Wars, but you can't do Empire Strikes Back. That's a different movie. So that's why like Night of the Living Dead is public domain, but Dawn of the Dead wasn't for a while. And Day of the Dead wasn't, like the sequels. It's really fucking weird.
Good thing
so
we know
Pooh
about
Bear
spoilers.
and Tigger and Piglet and all those guys and Eeyore, they're going to be fucking killing people.
And they could be in a porn.
I can't wait till they do it with Barney.
That's dude.
That's already been done, but this is like a legit Pooh Bear movie.
Yeah.
I think we should do a show about categories of pornography and what's wrong with people that like them or right or whatever you want to call it.
That's
but
cool.
like
Good idea.
lately, like I'm on the porn sites, you see a lot of like Peter Griffin and Lois,
Yeah.
or like Snow White,
Yeah.
or like these cartoon characters that are like not supposed to be like. Oh, it was years ago there would be like Marge Simpson, but their bodies have been redesigned to be like super sexy.
Yeah, like Marge-
Homer's got a huge dick.
Yeah, she takes her tits out. And
Marge
like,
has got a
nice.
body like fucking Nicki Minaj, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
It's cartoon porn. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I love cartoon porn. When we were in college, I had a t-shirt that said, I love hentai. And hentai was like kind of underground. Only people that knew about like Japanese subculture knew that they had their whole like pornography. They went with cartoon porn because like you ever watch real Japanese porn, they don't have it on for two reasons. One, they do have it. It's all like, they blur out the private parts.
Yeah.
So you're like, what the
They can't show pubic hair.
fuck am I watching this for? I need to see the good stuff. And secondly, because Japanese men's penises are so small, they don't want everyone to see them. So like, let's just make cartoons and we'll make big dicks on our guys, and no one will ever know that we have these
It's like a
little
fantasy.
penises.
Yeah.
So when something is public domain, it's almost like the fan films can be like released to the big audiences.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not like they don't have to be like underground YouTube movies anymore. Like Winnie the Pooh movie might have been a YouTube movie, like a fan film, but like they would be riding a line of legality. But this, no way. This is fucking cool.
All right. Well, we're at the 1 hour mark. So
Yeah.
next, you're gonna watch Voyagers this week.
Yes.
With Colin Farrell next week.
Yes.
We'll talk about it.
We'll send a reminder text.
I'm not going to forget.
I essentially
It's in my routine.
challenged the audience last week to watch it so that they could discuss it with us this week. We're just gonna have to give you guys a bonus week of watching it time. Maybe a lot of you didn't get to watch it yet, and this is a good thing.
It's on HBO
Watch it.
unless you buy it, unless you rent it from Blockbuster.
Spoiler alert.
Blockbuster.
It's Lord of the Flies in space, but
Yeah.
I think they did a good job with some of the stuff. Some of it was like,
You liked it.
It's happening too fast. This is crazy.
You enjoyed it.
Colin Farrell's
I'll
the
save
legit
my
movie.
Yeah, good movie. So
I'll save my my thoughts.
I want to do the NRG tree jingle one more time.
Yeah, let's go. Ready?
All right, as a practice, ready? And
R.
G tree.
all right, great show. See you guys next week.